Yeah, I cracked my screen. And I dropped it again. It's just like all these little slivers. I got slivers. Shimmy me timbers. I got slivers. Anyway, what's up, fams? You know I love y'all. And again, here goes I. Have you ever been out in the wild and try to bust a coconut? Man, it's not easy. I've been traveling a few places where, like, man, I'll find a coconut somewhere. Like, you'd be real hungry out in the wild. You're like, there's not fruit. If you notice one thing, anybody, if you go anywhere, you go out in the woods, whatever, guess what? There's no fruit trees, there's no wild vegetables. At least where I've been. I mean, I don't know where y'all have been, but everywhere I go, I mean, everything's been kind of taken over. But I do find coconuts every now and then. When they chop them down, that's a business because coconut falls and cracks you on the head, it's gonna crack your coconut. But those things aren't easy to bust. You know, if you got the right, tool, machete or some shit. But when you're on the street, it's like you gotta bash it. You gotta fucking beat it with a rock. I was so hungry. I was down in Hollywood, Florida. And I was starving. I found a coconut that looked like it could be busted. Right? And I found a piece of like marble. It was like a marble stone, but it was like a rectangle. It was like a 9-inch rectangular piece. And I was like banging the fuck out that coconut. I was banging it. You know what I mean? My hands were bleeding and shit. I'm banging that boy. And finally, I bust them open. You know, I didn't lose the juice. At the juice, I was like, oh, the nectar of the gods. And, I drank the coconut and was like, oh my god. And I finally cracked. When you crack that coconut, man, you feel like Tom Hanks on Castaway. I mean, or yeah, you know what I mean. You're like, fire, like you invented. You're like, oh my god, finally, I got it. But and you're it's really hard because when you're trying to bite piece of the coconut, it's sharp. They're sharp. These are like shards. They're really sharp pieces of the coconut when you're breaking it off on the inside without the right tools. Like I said, it's just you in the jungle. So you're like, you're trying to knock it all out. And anyway, just another story in the streets. So I want to get back on video with y'all. I want to get back on the move as well. I'm sorry. I'm coughing for a little bit. So I do want to go back into the social status. People always say like I don't want to listen to somebody or take pointers or information for people who are below me. Only people that are above you. What does that mean? What does that mean, honestly? Because if you think money in the bank makes you important, then use a dummy. I mean, that was, the game of Monopoly was invented to show the idiocracy of capitalism. I mean, Monopoly is a hell of a game. You get a few people around, I mean, true colors come out. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun game to play. It's a fun game to play. But, you know, motherfuckers will try to cheat. They'll try, you know, they will try to bend the rules. You gotta set the rules. You gotta set the rules. Life, the game of life is a little bit better, you know, because it's just kind of like, you know, can't really. There's a few rules you could probably, you know, twist or turn, but, you know, Monopoly is like anything goes almost. And that's what capitalism is. Anything goes. And they always said, like, oh, well, you know, communism is the enemy. Well, I'm here to tell you, that's why they always hate the Gentiles. Since Pythagoras, one of the original Christs, Gratian, you know, he was a communist. Christ, Jesus was a communist. Even in the book of Acts, it says, you know, to basically to each his own. Like, you know, everything gets provided, everything gets shared, and I made this statement one time on the internet with who was the guy? Josh Posobiec, Jack Posobiec, or something like that. And he goes, "Show me one place in the Bible where it says that, you know, Jesus, you know, believed in a government based on." He lost me right there when he said, you know, Jesus believed in a government, dude. Come on now, man. Jack Posobiec, the Russian agent. You know, they were so amazed. Like, I could just call them out. Like, oh, I know who this guy. I know this guy is. I know this guy is. Because the politic game is. Anyway, I'm not even interested in politics whatsoever. It's boring. It's really boring to me. I was kind of interested a little bit, but like, I don't care. 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 Only thing I care about is the Almighty. Really, that's all I care about. I was just gonna put it like that. You know, the Almighty, He gave me, you know, like I said, He gave me everything I got. So that's all I care about, dude. But I can push a point forward because, like I said, they, you know, they say, you know, Kyle, dude, like, you don't have no status, no popularity. No one really knows who you are. I'm known by a lot of people, and I don't tell you to like, subscribe, and share, and like, I don't meet people in public and say, hey, you know, I got a YouTube channel, and maybe you should check it out. I got a website. I don't do that. I put my information out into the ether, and I provide information to people. Some people find it. Maybe it doesn't get found, but some people do. Like I said, I would love to be recognized for who I am and what I do. But I can't sell my soul. I can't bend the knee. I can't sell out. I can't sell my gift, man. It has to be given freely. It was given to me freely, so it has to be given freely. And if that means, you know, living poor in the streets, A lot of people that's their perception. They're like, oh well, he walks the streets, he sleeps behind a dumpster, he eats out the trash can. You know, I've done that. I've done that. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't panhandle, I don't beg, I don't do any of these things. The scripture said that all these things will be provided to you, and that's how I chose to live my life. Because I really want to see for what it was, and you know, it's not like even being homeless. Like I said, I enjoy sleeping outside. I enjoy being out in the world and living life, and a lot of people can't comprehend that. Like when people are driving by, sometimes they're like shaking their heads or they're thinking, they're like, they feel sorry. Like, I feel sorry for that guy walking down the street. And I'm looking at all these vehicles. There was like 100 vehicles driving by. And I'm shaking my head and I'm saying, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. They're slaves to a system and they don't even know it. That's the sad part. That's the really heartbreaking part, And when I see a lot of people, sometimes I'm not, best dressed. Sometimes people like they I look like I look like a bum sometimes. Not always. I mean, I'm pretty sharp usually, but sometimes we're like, people know you're transient or whatever. They're like, okay, maybe you got a couple bags, or maybe you're hanging out in a certain area where, and I might just go up to somebody and like maybe they really got a cool pair of cool pair of shoes, or nice message on their shirt, and I'm like, hey, I guess I give them a compliment. I say, hey, nice shoes, or nice shirt, dude, a nice dress, babe. And nowadays, like I do get feedback because it's the way I portray it, but a lot of people are offset by it because it's like, especially if they think like you're homeless, because they think, oh, he's gonna try to ask me for $1. He's gonna try to ask me for $5. He's gonna try to ask me for something. So they just try to like ignore you and just walk by you. Like, dude, sometimes I have more money than they have. Well, I mean, I have really have all the money in the world. Like I said, I never want for anything. But they see something. It's simple psychology. Psychology 101, projection. They see, like they'll ignore you because they're like, oh my god, no, he's gonna try to ask me for $1. I mean, God forbid I ask you for $1. What the fuck am I gonna do with $1? Fuck you, any $1. But it's like they see something really ugly in themselves, and so they rather ignore it and not deal with it, because that's a shortcoming in their own life. Especially, like I said, I don't beg, I don't ask for anything. I pray to God. I told you before, pray to God and said, don't make me ask for anything. So I get blessed every day, without asking. And I do work. I do a lot of things. I'm not I'm not who you think I am. But the whole point is human perception. What I look like asking you for something, dude? You think I'm out here to ask you for something, man? Huh? What you got that I don't got? What you got that I don't got? I got plenty of shit. I got plenty money. I got some shit you don't got. For real, for real. So miss me with that. But honestly, it's not. Like I said, I'll never mean to be offensive, and I have. I got a lot of people in the community, like a lot of people in different towns and different stuff. Like, like I said, I hang with people who don't got shit. And then I hang with people who got plenty of stuff. And I treat everybody the same. I'm hanging with, a motherfucker who just, ate out of the garbage can and, begged to get a fucking bottle of liquor. And then I hang with, people who just want conversation. Like, I'm just into people being real. And, I started finding out, like, first off, like I said, there's a lot of millionaires and people with important people and that come around me. And they know I can give them honest conversation and we can talk, we can converse, and they like my ideas because I'm unorthodox. They're not used to hearing a perspective like mine. And they can get ideas and they respect it because, the guy comes and tells me, he says, Kyle, he says, every time I see you, because you're always smiles, you're always in a good attitude, you always got something intelligent and important to say, you can always add something to the conversation. He says, I respect your opinion, and and he wants to bounce ideas. They want to bounce ideas off me, and I'm like, I'm all ears. Like, that's what I do. This is what I do. So, like, they'll come and, like I said, seek me out. They want to hear my opinion. They want to hear my idea. They want to hear, if it, my point of view. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So like I said, I get great satisfaction. I get, a heartwarming feeling because I'm being recognized and respected for my mind and for who I am versus status or something like that. Like, imagine a multi-millionaire goes to the park. This is like Bobby Fischer or some shit, but searching for Bobby Fischer. Lawrence Fishburne playing with the young Bobby Fischer kid. I don't know the actor's name, young kid. But they're like, a guy who's running a business comes and asks you for your opinion. And then on Monday, he orchestrates, the plan and the ideas that you put forth. He implements it, like add energy to him, and it's an exchange of ideas. But like I said, they seek my counsel, and that's what I'm here for. This is how I live my life. So forget about status. If you think that having lots of money is important, if you think that having lots of followers is important, if you think that lots of likes and lots of views are important, listen, I can have one viewer, but I might have the most important viewer in the world, right? Like, I could have just Trump following me, I could just have Andrew Tate following me, I could just have Richard Dawkins following me, I could just have Neil deGrasse Tyson following me. I could just have The Rock following me. I could just have one person following me. I can have a no-name person that nobody else knows following me. And if I make an impression on that person, and if I influence them with my ideas in any type of way and touch them or relate to them, number one, I've done my duty. But somebody with a bigger platform is going to hear my word. It's going to be spread. Many people see my videos. Many people hear what I say. And they borrow and I won't say they steal, but, they steal, they rob. Like Beastie Boy said, I'm robbing and stealing, jacking for beats. I'm gonna be I'm already recognized by the Almighty. He gave me my duty to do what I have to do, and I ran with it. So it's it's nothing for me because I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. I can't get no. You see what I'm saying? So it's not for my satisfaction, baby. Like, I don't need the recognition. I don't need the accolades. I don't need nothing. Yeah, I would appreciate it, but like I said, glory and love goes with the Creator, baby. So that's who I want first and foremost. Seek the kingdom, and everything else will come. So that's all I've been doing. That's all I've been doing. That's all I can do. You know what I mean? I never did nothing for glory. The guy, I used to tell these stories. I had no glory stories. I used to tell stories where I ain't get the peak. I struck out at bat. You know what I mean? I never told stories to impress people. I told stories where I took a loss. I got my ass kicked, where I got my ass handed to me. You feel me? Like, anyway, this video is kind of cutting short, but it's like, President Chang Gang or whatever. People can tell you anything they want to tell you. And it's usually braggadocious, it's usually important. But, like, if somebody tells you, like, hey, man, I took a huge loss. I got my ass kicked. I got my, everyone can relate to that. You tell a winning story, like, oh yeah, I did this, that, and the other. A lot of people it's gonna rub them wrong because a lot of people have been taking huge losses. I mean, we're all winning. We're all winning. We've all had some wins, but most of us have took losses and losses. I mean, everyone knows about that, so it's more relatable. To tell the truth and be honest, and like I said, I've never lost. I never will. But trust me, I've took my bruises, I took my beatings, and yeah, I lost a lot. I lost more than you can imagine. But I don't take it as a loss. I take it as a win. At the time, I didn't, well, a lot of times I always, again, I always had a state of mind that, overcome. So, like I said, I never really took a loss. That's the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. I never took a loss. That's on facts.